Hello gamers, it's me, Lifespiller79. I'm back. Glad to be able to talk about some games. Everybody has common games in their collection that they normally pick up that's rather popular, and then when you're doing a little bit of retro collecting or going back, dipping back in the archives, you go back and get things that were nostalgic to you or meant something to you. I just kind of went through my collection of games and was looking for games that were underrated but meant something to me, and just wanted to share those things with you guys. And if you see one that you like, just check it out, add it to your collection. The first game that I have here is Green Dog. It's actually called Green Dog, the Beach Surfer Dude. It's a really, really good game. If you're into the side scroller, traditional Sega Genesis game, it's a dude that was on this island by himself, and he's just going through each and every stage by himself, going through all kinds of little weird stuff. I mean, you can actually use a skateboard at one point. You can have little weapons. It's one of them odd games that's hard to explain, but I can say that I definitely enjoyed it, and I definitely love playing it. There's a lot of little fun Sega Genesis parts to it, because I know this wasn't on the Super Nintendo, but yeah, this is definitely a game you should check out. If you see it, add it to your collection. Now the next game that I got, it actually comes on the PS2 and the Xbox, the original Xbox, is iNinja. I love this game. It's very challenging, but I love it because you feel like you're going through different levels of degrees of belts, because you start out on a plain little, I think you start out on a green belt or a red belt, and you work your way up. Every time you work your way up to a different belt, have more powers, you gain a new sword, new blade, new moves and stuff like that. But the stages are very challenging, but this game is really, really fun. So I would add it to your collection if you definitely want this. This is really, really fun. It's a little quick little side. Well, it's actually a 3D action game by Namco, so I would definitely check that out. The next game that I got was Vex, VEXX, and it actually comes on the PS2 and the Xbox. I got this. This is another 3D action game, another power up. If you know me by now, I usually like side scroller or single player type games with power ups and different level ups and stuff like that. But this is a really good game. This guy, he pretty much developed these powers. I think he loses his parents or something like that. It's one of those kind of crazy games. It's actually by Acclaim, surprisingly, because Acclaim don't always make the best games. I mean, just be honest about it. But this is really one of them underrated type games that you cannot overlook. Once you pick it up, you definitely will find yourself wanting to complete this game. So check this out if you ever see it in the aisles. Now this is a game that most people probably heard of, and they saw it come out, took some sort of interest in it, but didn't add it or didn't buy it. And this one was for my 360. It's called Faction Guerrilla. This is a really, really good game. This dude, he works for I guess it's government. He works kind of like for the government, or I guess you can say something like that, governmental official or whatever. And he lands on the planet of Mars, and he is trying to save the planet. I beat this game in its full entirety. I loved every moment of it. And it does have online, so I don't know how long the online will still be active. But my son played this for a long, long time. I mean, for months on end, that's all he kept playing. And then the thing about this game, it also does the weapons, but you get to destroy everything. I love that part about the game. It's pretty cool. Give me a second here. So I was glad to add this to my collection, and maybe when I get the time, because I'm trying to get all my games set up on a shelf or something like that, so then that way I can be able to play them all at once or whenever I feel like playing them, because my consoles ain't always easily accessible. But yeah, definitely check this out. If you see this, grab it either for the PS3 or the PS2. I've been actually looking for the one for the PS2, and I think it's just Red Faction, because I come to find out there were several parts. There were even comics and stuff like that that came out. So check this out. It's one of the games by Volition, the same makers for Saints Row. So yeah, definitely check that out, or TSQ. Now the next game that I have that's an underrated game is Winback, Covert Operation, and I actually just saw Winback 2 earlier this year. Been looking for the price to drop to add it to my collection. It says that the first blast wiped out your space center. In just 3 hours, a high-tech weapons satellite will strike again. It's your job to make sure it doesn't. So you go through over 31 explosive stages. First you start out in like a covert mode where you go through training and you learn all kinds of stuff, but this is how the label looks and stuff. Pretty good game. This was ironically, this was my first game that I ever had on the PS2. The first time I got a PS2, I actually just rented it. I just wanted to test it out before I got it. My wife ended up getting it for me for Christmas. I think the first year it came out. But yeah, this is a really good game. Action, shooter, very good aim, target kind of game. It's right up there. I love it. So I definitely have fun with this, and I'm actually looking for part 2 at a reasonable price. Now the last game I got on my underrated list is Astro Boy, and it's the original Astro Boy for Sega. And on the back it says "Fight for Justice." I got this because I originally had this on my PS2 a long time ago, but this is one of those, another power up 3D kind of action game where the guy is pretty much the action, or the hero I should say. This is a robot that was created who originally didn't know he was designed for bad purposes, but he changes his mind. He was kind of designed like an AI, but he originally, he ends up changing his mind and wants to be his own person. So he ends up trying to save the world, and that's his whole aim, is to save the world, and he has all kinds of crazy power-ups. This is definitely one of those games you want to give a try, and you will definitely love it. If you love that kind of anime, action, story, superhero underneath who changes his plans, this is a really, really good game. So I would definitely add this to the collection. So if you see this on the shelf, don't overlook it, add it. Those are my underrated games. Please comment and subscribe. Tell me what games are underrated in your collection. Tell me some good games that most people have probably never heard of, or some really good games. Not all these common games, because common games are easy to find, as you can see. But I like to find those hidden gems, is what I really like to call it. Other than that, I'm Lifespiller79. Tell me, how's your life as a gamer? Tell me what you enjoy to do on your downtime. What games, or what's your favorite system? Anything at all. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out.